All right, this is an ASA summary video. From the outside, the house looks pretty normal. The roof is odd here, and I'll explain that later, but let's just walk around the house here and show you what's going on. So this siding is a little bit irregular here. This area might be off maximum of 1 inch over the height, but it's more random. Down here, it's plumb. It's probably just the siding, but it is a little off down there. So this is the back or side, depending on what you want to say. So here the roof is symmetrical, normal gable. Again, it looks pretty normal here. It is on a crawl space. I walked out in the yard and I looked up at the roof and it looks fine from this side. I'll go to the crawl space in a minute. Incidentally, although it's not part of an ASA, I did notice that this carport actually has a ridge beam, and on that end there's no support for the end of the beam, and this roof is sagging quite a bit. This is not part of the house, this is just the porch, but if you look from here, that roof is sloping down. It's quite low over here because they need a beam over there. But here's where you can see that the roof is kind of odd. It doesn't really match up with the end of the house, and the best way to see kind of how it's built is then you got to walk this way a little bit. Oh, you can back up here. And you can see there that for most of the house, it's a normal gable, and then it's been sort of modified here. All right, I'm going to turn this off and then go inside. All right, so this is the front door. It's kind of actually on the side of the house. All right, and so it's a very big open space here. This is where the roof is a little bit odd, and this area is in kind of a normal gable. There's kind of 2 low points that you would see in the in the data sheets. One is sort of in this spot here. In the crawl space, you can't really get under that area in particular. The other one is down here in this bathroom. And again, crawl space access is really bad. It's just very low at the toilet. Whenever I get to the crawl space, I'll talk a little bit about that, but it's probably a framing issue related to that. But I'm just going to shoot general video of the inside here. I'm going to go back here so I can orient you. But this is a very big opening here. This is kind of large, and the ceiling has a lot of patches and stuff up here, and it's definitely sagging near the stairs. I'll go there in a second. Let me just orient you, kind of what this house looks like. There's not really cracks in the walls. The headers and stuff look generally square. The floors are quite level except for those areas. That's where that bathroom was that I was just in. Bathroom here. Things look pretty good, but it has been flipped. So there could have been a lot of cracks that are now concealed. This utility room is a little odd because it's got this concrete section right here. There's a slab, which you can't get to in the crawl space. All right, so we're gonna go up in the attic, but the deal here is that this ceiling is sagging. They've actually hung some of the framing from the rafters, but you'll see that the ceiling joists over in this area, there should be a wall underneath it. You can see it up there. So basically it looks like a wall was removed here, and that's the problem. This definitely needs to be fixed. There's cracking here and there's downward movement. All right, so up in the attic. So this stuff here is basically only at the stair opening. It looks to me like it's suspending this opening because joists were cut, but this is what I'm talking about over there, is where you can see the ends of the joists. So that would normally show that there's a wall here. But for the rest of this, as you go down that way, it looks like a normal gable, except there is a lot of added support down the middle, which isn't very common. But from the outside, the ridge look level. All right, so the last bit is I'm gonna go in the crawl space. Now I've crawled around there somewhat. The access is really bad, it's difficult. You can't see a lot of it, but there's tons of new framing. The original beam appears to be gone, which would run down the middle of the house, and it's been replaced. But from here, let me just give you a summary, is that this beam right in front of me was added. Probably it's at like the midspan of this part of the house, but some of these support piers have shifted. Now farther down, the next beam you can see there is what was the original center of the house, where the original beam was, which is totally gone. It's not bad from what I can see. It's got piers, it's pressure treated wood. Beyond that is another beam going towards the far, and it gets very tight down there. And down there, that's probably another mid-span beam, it looks like. And the only thing else is in that section of the house towards where underneath the stairs, where it's a little different because the roof is different. There's another new beam there. I would add too that there are tons of new joists here, but the framing is, a lot of it turns 90 degrees. There's added headers underneath bathrooms. You know, it's been modified because the plumbers, and there's just various things that are not really done right. I didn't see anything that was severely wrong, but you know, with this amount of repairs in the history here, there's probably more stuff to be done with some of these areas.